No, I'll do. Will I sit down?
Sit down and open the meeting room.
Okay. Did he say? Will I'll sit down here, will I?
Distract myself this way, but the more I look at it now, the worse I'm getting. You know, you're kind of shit.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Castlebar District 71 Bus Tour. We'll now declare our meeting open, and before we go any further, I just want to state the emergency exits. We've got one exit through the door you came in, one exit here, and one exit here. You cleared, go back to the door you came in, you can then go through the tea room and back outside, or there's doors to your right, you can go out. The toilets are out through that door and straight ahead of you as well. May I please ask, if you don't need mobile phones, please turn them off so we don't have any distractions for this meeting. And now I'm going to hand over to our Toastmaster of the day, Francis Leonard. Please welcome to the stage, Francis Leonard.
Thank you, Salome. Salome is, of course, our Toastmaster of the day, and she is from Ballina Toastmasters. Even though this is Castlebar has been very graciously and very wonderfully accepted into the bus tour, which is such a privilege and honour to organise this all. We have wonderful, wonderful clubs across Mayo. We have Westport, we have Ballina, we have Westawake and Castlebar, and we're very lucky that all clubs came together for this event. So thank you, Salome. To start off the meeting, I am going to invite Marie Dillon, who is the District Director of 71, and she is going to open up the meeting for us.
Thank you so much, Francis. Anyway, guys, hooray, day number 3. Here we are in Castlebar, beautiful Castlebar. I happened to work here about 3 months ago and I fell in love with the place. So, Francis, I want to say a huge thank you to you for facilitating us coming here today. And I met Francis at a contest, I think it was only about 1.5 years ago, Francis, and she was an amazing speaker. So I knew she'd do a great job today, so thanks so much to you for doing all the work you've done leading into this. Just to say, we are live streaming this. Potentially, we have 147 countries watching us today. So a very big welcome to everybody online. So just in case we have any visitors, what is Toastmasters? Well, Toastmasters, it's an international communication and leadership organisation. And what we do is we teach people how to do presentations, how to deliver speeches, and most of all, we also teach people how to evaluate in a kind and thoughtful manner. And with so many of our young people going abroad at the moment, and I hope most people are going, I have 3 daughters myself, and they're going to have fun, and it's fantastic. But how wonderful it would be for us to give a young person the gift of membership, even for 6 months. And then we can send them on their merry way with new skill sets so they can get great jobs, and that they'll be able to talk to no matter who they meet. And also as well, they'll have a ready-made network around the world of Toastmasters. We have 250,000 Toastmasters worldwide. So why don't we link in with our global community? And as I say, when we send our young people off to experience life, let's send them off with a great skill set. So now, Francis, you yourself are going to be Toastmaster for today. So we really welcome back, Francis, and I'm so looking forward to this wonderful event.
Thank you.
Thank you so much,
I'm
Frances.
mic here. I'm doubly mic'd. Thank you. Okay, we have a great lineup today. We really do. It's wonderful, the lineup that we have. But we would be nothing without the people in the background. And today we've got Alva timing everything and keeping us all under control. Alva is from Ballina Toastmasters for the past 7 years. And anyone who knows her knows of her kindness and her generosity and her warmth. So, Alva. And the first thing in our lineup is our recitation. I haven't been able to say that, from a guest speaker here today. He is a man of many talents, this man is, hailing from Beaufield and Ballina. Joseph is no stranger to the stage. He has performed in drama groups and is part of a Ceilidh band. He travels around the country sharing his gifts through recitations, and today we're lucky to have him to perform one of them for us today. It's called The Present. If you can welcome onto stage Joseph Neary.
You need a mic. Which one?
Oh, for the...
It's for the live stream.
Yeah, for
So
the live
yes, we
stream,
need
they
a
won't
mic.
hear you.
Might be better if they didn't.
Thank you.
Am I standing in the right place? That's my director's here. Well, you know, I'm a nervous wreck up here, but all you people know how to talk, but I don't. But anyways, I was backward at going forward, and why, I didn't know. Those people said that I was shy, and others called me slow. My father blamed my mother for rearing me, a lazy sod, but she maintained it was his fault that all his crowd was odd. Why don't you go out and get a woman, he used to say to me. When I was your age, the very least I had was 2 or 3. But there's one wee tip I'll give you, well, it worked for me when I was young. If you're not in business at 12 o'clock, and you'd be fair better off at home. You see, I had my eye on Mary Ann this last 8 years or so. Now, the only thing that held me back was just in case she might say no. See, the problem was I turned her down back in her younger days. Mind you, it's not that she's got any better looking, it's just I'm not as hard to please. If I told you she was ugly, and I wouldn't be telling lies. You know, she once worked in a butcher shop just to keep away the flies. Well, I had got to the stage when it came to looks, I didn't give a damn. And I know you'll say it was just as well if you saw the cut of Mary Ann. From time to time, I'd meet her down about the shop, but I never had the courage to bring the subject up. I knew she still was cool with me since I turned her down that time. But now that she has got the bit of land and the money, I have sort of changed my mind. I was in contact with a man, an expert in these things, who swore to me he had a plan and told me to get the rings. Now, says he, if you'll follow my get a woman plan, I'll guarantee within a week I'll have her eaten from your hand. Next time that you see her, you pay her a lot of heed. Look closely at what she's wearing and see if there's anything she might need. Perhaps a scarf around her neck or something for her hair. And if you like the plan, come back to me and we'll take it on from there. Well, later on that evening, I was milking in the byre and I made up my mind to go for it. Or should I say, God loves the trier. Sure, after all, I'd be no worse off if the old bag, she says no. I just remind her that I was right the first time when I told her where to go. It was just 2 evenings later, I was going down to have a pint, and who did I see but Mary Ann coming, peddling on the bike. And just as I was meeting her, didn't there come this great big truck? Well, it nearly blew the clothes clean off her, and did I get a right good look. Mind you, there wasn't a whole pile she needed, as far as I could see. All her bits and bobs was covered from just above the knee. But just at the last second, I spied what a man had buy for the woman he loves. It was sitting there in front of me. She wasn't wearing gloves. I went into town the next Thursday on the bus from Mullavan to try and buy a pair of gloves, the first part of the plan. I told me ma what I was doing and could she recommend a kind. She said, it'd fit you, better buy them for yourself and not be always wearing mine. And then says she, sure, I'll go with you. You might need me to try them on. Well, that's not the way I had planned it, but sure, I thought I'd better play along. She says, come on into that draper shop that belongs to Fred McVickers. I'm in an awful state for a pair of pants. You know, that's what ladies now call knickers. Well, when I went into the draper shop, I was completely mesmerised. But when the shopman asked me, sure, I didn't know her size. I stood there like an idiot. I didn't know what to do. God says, hey, you have me there. But she's about a 7 in a shoe. Well, I bought a pair about her size as far as I could tell. A lovely pair of leather ones that had a gorgeous smell. I saw a pair of men's gloves there sitting on the shelf, and I thought about what May had said, and I bought them for myself. Then he gave me a long list of instructions, what to do if the gloves got soiled or wet. Says he, will you remember all I told you? Says I, no, don't you fret. I looked over at the mother, she seemed to have their business done. Says I, May, you better shape yourself or the last bus will be gone. Well, when I got home, I started thinking of all I had to say to Mary Ann. So I got a pen and paper and I wrote the whole lot down. See, I knew that I'd be nervous and leave out half what should be said. So it seemed to make much more sense to write the whole lot down instead. Later on, I washed and shaved so I'd be looking nice and splashed on what was left in the bottle of Old Spice. Says, hey, May, where's the shop? And she says, sure, it's lying in the bed. When I thought I was picking up the package with the gloves, didn't I bring her knickers up instead? Well, I left the house as pleased as punch, not realising what I had done. Jumped up on my old tractor and I got it started on the run. When I arrived at Mary Ann's, I could see she was alone, so I parked the tractor on another slope and I pointed her for home. I sort of sneaked up to the front door and on it I did knock. And when Mary Ann came out, says I'd like to talk. Here's a wee something for you I bought in McVicker's shop, and I handed her the present with the letter on the top. She began to open up the envelope. Oh, I said, Mary Ann, you better open up the present first, and I will read the letter. Well, the plan was going perfect. I thought I'd have a fag. I felt like the dog that had the 2 tails. I didn't know which one of them to wag. But when she opened up the present, she didn't look one bit pleased. The bit of a grin that was there before had quickly been erased. God says, she doesn't like the gloves, and I felt an awful dread. Says, will I read the letter now? Well, I can't wait for it, she said. Well, I wrote you this wee letter, my dearest Mary Ann, to explain about the present. I hope you'll understand. See, the last time that I saw you, I noticed you hadn't any on. So I bought you these, and I hope you're pleased and that they'll keep you warm. Now, why I took this liberty, you're wondering, I suppose. Well, I could see your skin was turning blue round where it was exposed. Aye, and them old flies and midges and that east wind, they can bite. I could see you were catching the brunt of it when I saw you on the bike. You know, I really liked them when I saw them on the shelf. In fact, I liked them so much I bought a pair myself. See, when it was cold, I'd wear my mother's, and I thought it wasn't fair that I was wearing them so much as they were her only pair. Oh, aye, and Mary Ann, if you should ever wet them, which you might now, who can tell? Well, you're not supposed to wash them. They'd only lose their lovely smell. And if you should ever dirty them, well, just rub them with a rag, and you can blow into them from time to time. They say it helps them not to sag. Now, I don't know if you're superstitious, my dearest Mary Ann, but for myself, I have to say I'm a very superstitious man. So if you should ever drop them, which now and again I hope you'll do, well, they say it's bad luck to pick up your own, so I'll pick them up for you. Every time you put them on, I hope you're cozy as can be. And every time you take them off, I hope you'll think of me. You might find them a wee bit tight at first, but that's because they're new. But don't you worry, when I'm with you, I'll pull them off for you. Well, be now the face that was flying to Mary Ann. I thought she'd blow a fuse. And the language that was coming out of her, I never heard a woman use. You F and B and you humpy C were some of the nicer things she called me, as she read me 7 generations and ridiculed me pedigree. 'Twas only then I saw the knickers and realised the mistake I'd made. I tried to explain about the mix-up in the parcels, but this was an unforgiven plead. Well, with every word that came out of her, you know, her voice was getting higher, and didn't she take May's brand new pair of drawers and flung them in the fire? Get out to here, you pervert, before I call the law. And with that, she scattered me with a filter to the jaw. She said, I didn't see you coming. Took me right off my feet, and in the melee that followed, I lost my cap and nearly all my bottom teeth. Well, I gathered up my alls and balls, and I made a quick retreat. Abuse was still being hurled at me as I staggered across the street. She opened up the window and flung out my brand new cap. She said, here, will you take that rag with you, and likewise that heap of scrap. Well, as I freewheeled down the driveway, and I was hopping off each ditch, me ears were still throbbing from the backside, you know, bitch. I was glad that I escaped from her and that I'd survived. I was never as close in all my life to being it alive. Well, I'm sitting here with a hump on me this last number of hours and thinking, wasn't I the silly pellick that didn't bring her up a bunch of flowers? And whenever I meet John Expert, I'll tell him to take his plan and shove it where the sun don't shine, and to hell with Mary Ann.
Oh my goodness. Well, that's just after bringing the room up an awful amount. That was so funny, so well done. So, oh my goodness. Wow. I'm lost for words. I think we need to do some movement, do we? Absolutely wonderful. I do. I think I need to move it out. I think I need to do a little movement. So it's the perfect time to come into our next guest, who is Siobhan Phillips. And Siobhan Phillips is a rare, rare gem. She really is. She's a kind of person that has all these wonderful ideas, wonderful concepts. And whenever I get stuck at anything, she's the person I text. And she always, always has a great plan and idea for me. She is a Toastmaster in Ballina, and she has been a Toastmaster not only in Ireland, but in Korea as well. And today she is going to be sharing one of her many, many talents, because she's so talented. She's going to do a mindful movement for us, and we're doing this because this Toastmaster campaign, Good to Talk, Good to Listen, Good to Connect, is in line with the Mental Health Month. So we have a couple of little mindful practices coming up in today's agenda, and the first one is from Siobhan Phillips. Thank you. Oh, yes, sure.
Welcome, everyone. As Francis said, as part of... As Francis mentioned just then, as part of Mental Health Week, we decided to add a little bit of mindfulness to our meeting today. And while I had hoped that we could do some dancing, I think the space will not really allow it very safely this time, though maybe perhaps for the next time. So we're going to do something a little bit different. One way to quiet any mental chatter, whether you're worried about your next speech or you're already wondering what's on the menu for lunch, is to bring attention and awareness to movement, sensation and breath. I'm going to invite you to do a short activity with me. It is optional. There isn't a lot of movement in it, but I'm going to ask that you keep any movement within your space, respect your neighbours, and there should be no black eyes today, hopefully. And only do what feels safe and comfortable for you. So you are welcome to close your eyes if you would like. I do hope if you have travelled some way today, this will help you relax before we dive into our topic session, which I'm sure everyone is already very excited about. So you're welcome to close your eyes. You're welcome as well to simply relax your eyes. Let the room fade away a little bit. If you're seated, you can remain seated. And I'm going to ask you to sit on the chair. Maybe the weight under your feet. And make any adjustment that will help you feel more comfortable. Take a deep breath in and out. Notice your shoulders, where there's tension, where there's ease. Make any adjustment you need to make and breathe. Notice your neck, any stiffness, any tension there. And breathe in and out. Let it go. Now, I'd like to invite you to notice any tension anywhere in your body. And take a moment to breathe in and out. Letting go of what needs to go. And now I'd like you to bring your attention back to your weight on the chair. The weight under your feet, maybe your toes, perhaps you can wiggle them. Maybe your eyebrows. Some people have great eyebrows. Maybe your jaw, relax your jaw. One final deep breath in and out. And whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes. And I will hand control back to the Toastmaster, Madam Toastmaster.
Exercise, eh? So are you okay with that?
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks very much, Siobhan. I'm very relaxed now. I'm very poised and present here now. All the nervousness has left me. I should bring that into our regular Toastmasters meetings, I think. Our next, we have topics. What is a Toastmasters meeting without a little bit of audience engagement and a little bit of fear put into everybody? We have Damien is doing our topics, and Damien is the Vice President Education in Castlebar Toastmasters, and he is the kind of member that every Toastmaster club dreams about. He really is. He steps up, he's dedicated, he's dependable, he is willing to step into any role, whether it's in a meeting or on the committee, and he does well more than his fair share. He models how it's done. We're so lucky to have his leadership, and he's going to take us through these table topics now. So welcome to Damien.
Frances, you have a few more jobs to do yet.
I have.
Yes, I think I do enough in Toastmasters, so
Yes, you
I am
do.
going to get you to give me a hand to start with. I have a range of topics here,
Okay.
and it is always a fearful time of the meeting when table topics come up, because nobody knows what's going to come up. And in fact, tonight, for a change, I don't even know what's going to come up, because I was given these table topics, and it's going to be a surprise. So in order to continue with the surprise, I have a list of topics here, and I'll ask Francis to pick one, and we will select somebody to do it. And nobody will know what it is until it is time to do it. So
This
Francis,
is what I mean. He puts
pick-
me to
pick
shame
a
every time.
number.
Every time I think I'm good at a role, Damien comes in and he takes it one step further with his creativity, and I can't wait to see him in the president role, and then I'll see what I should have been doing this year.
Now I'll ask you to pick a number 1 to 20.
Oh, 1 to 20. I would
Yes.
pick 7 because it's looking at me.
7, very good.
Can I
Okay,
sit down? You're not giving it to me, are you?
no,
Running.
you can sit down. Okay, so number 7 on our table topics, and I'm going to choose Dolores Foy to do this. Okay, and number 7 is, was your experience in primary school more of a rural small class or an urban 30 to a class, and has this formed you as a person? Dolores. Challenging.
Thank you for the topic. My primary school experience was in a rural school. We had 2 teachers, we had 4 classes in each room, and if you happened to fall behind in anything, you were lost. The teacher was trying to teach 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th class all at the same time. We were very lucky. We had lovely teachers. They were great. I lived in a small village. We had the school, the church and the pub. And we happened to own the pub. So we ran home for lunch at 12 o'clock every day with a list of penny toffees and gobstoppers and penny sweets that we were to bring back to school with us for the other children who weren't so lucky as to have the shop. We had great teachers. We had one in particular, Mrs. Sheeran. She was very good at getting us to Tea Culla. That means go to sleep. So you would fold your arms, put your head down. Mrs. Sheeran would disappear out to the bathroom, and she might come back in 10 minutes. She might come back in 20 minutes. Needless to say, we didn't learn a whole lot in Mrs. Sheeran's class. And then we had the master. The master taught the senior classes, and he was a Kilkenny man. Now, we were in the Midlands. We had no hurling background at all. And he really thought we were all second-class citizens because we couldn't hold a hurl in our hands. We had a great time in school. We played. We had great fun. We had a railway line right beside the school, so that was great crack. And one day, there was flooding in the field behind the school, and a few of us went off to have a look at the flood, and one of the lads fell in. We were all sanctioned when we came back. I have great happy memories of my primary school days, and it was lovely to be educated in a small rural country school.
Thank you very much, Dolores. And Dolores, I'll ask you to, Dolores, I might get you to pick the next topic for me. I am going to do as little as possible. That's the secret. Try and get as many people to do as much of your work as possible. Delegate, decide, delegate, and disappear. That's my style around here.
I'm going to be perverse now and pick number 13.
Number 13. Okay, number 13. And I'm going to look at the list of names here and see who am I going to. Pat. Choose you, Pat, for number 13. And number 13 is not my topic, but if you could wear fresh cotton or old silk, which one would you choose to wear and why? Number 13, Pat.
Thank you very much for the topic, Mr. Topics Master. You disowned that question very quickly, so you did, wondering why. Do I even know what? So it's not up on the, I can't even see it without the glasses. It's up now. Fresh cotton or old silk to wear? Well, fresh cotton is but they're both actually natural. I think they're both natural, yeah. The silk is by the silkworm. He'd just be busy making his silk, and we harvest it, whereas cotton is grown, so it is. So they're both very natural products, unlike what I'm wearing. There's not one bit of cotton or silk on me. It's all, unfortunately, manufactured out of chemicals, made of plastics. So I suppose those two would be two better options to wear, and maybe I need to, in my environmentally friendly way of life, start wearing that kind of stuff. I've switched to EV, so I'm trying to help save the planet. Not a particularly good EV. I bought it 2 weeks ago, Nissan Leaf, my first option of an electric car. Went to drive home from Galway, found out I had only 60 kilometres range, had to stop 5 times on the way down to keep charging up to get all the way back to Mayo. So as far as going for natural options, I'm not sure what might happen with the silk or the cotton. I might end up with some worms maybe coming out of my clothes. I know silk it's supposed to help you breathe if in warmer climates, all right. And I'm delighted with this topic, and again, thank you very much, and I can see why you disowned it so quickly. Thank you, Mr. Topics Master.
I'll get you to pick one. Thank you, Pat. Maybe we should have asked Joe what was in the box. Was it cotton or silk when he purchased the present earlier in his story? Joe's story was a cotton or silk earlier.
Leather.
Now, Pat, thank you very much. Number 10. Okay, folks, number 10. Thank you. Do you have a go-to way to release the tensions and let your hair down on Friday weekend? And could you tell us about this? Katrina. Katrina Doyle. No, thank you.
Thank you for the topic. Actually, generally you say the name and then everybody is fearful. But I wasn't particularly fearful this time because, oh no, he's going to read the question first. Oh, and I can't read without my glasses either. So, I think it was something to do with stress-free.
How do you relax on Friday night?
How do I relax? Well, I have the pleasure of every night is really a Friday night, and as one can see, I can't let my hair down because I have it cut off, and I have the pleasure though of every night being a Friday night because I'm retired, and it's such a pleasure. So, yes, I was trying to escape, but obviously it's not working. But when I was listening to Miss Foy, Dolores Foy there earlier and was recalling the days of school, and I remember I was in it was a 3-room school actually, and a 3-person teacher school as well, and it was such a pleasure that we had a beautiful lady called Mrs. McDonough as our teacher in infant class and the low infants and high infants, and she was such, a lot of people in those days had awful teachers, and I recall my older brothers and sisters telling me about awful teachers, and then this lady comes, and it was just a pleasure to be in her class. So, but that's getting away from the topic that I was chosen to do, of course, and one is allowed in Toastmasters. Thankfully, one is allowed to do that. But getting back to relaxation, I relax with people's good company and maybe out for a nice meal or a couple of drinks with friends. That's my way of relaxing, and music is another big way of relaxing. And I'm sure when I sit down now, I'm going to remember so many things that I could have said, and I will be extremely witty. But up here, it doesn't feel that way. But relaxation is, well, thank you to Siobhan earlier on that she helped us relax in your body. And in this week, especially Mental Health Week, it's important to remember that, we all kind of have fears. And somebody said to me that I wouldn't join Toastmasters because it was, I cannot speak. And actually, it's the exact opposite. I was told about Toastmasters in the 80s, and I thought it was up there, beyond me. But it's not. It's actually for everybody, and that's the way one should view it. Just come along to a meeting, and anybody viewing out there, come along to a meeting and find out. Thank you for the topic.
Thank you much, Katrina. And I'll get you to choose another one. And just to give somebody a bit of warning, I might select Willie to do this one. Our own Willie Creighton from the Castle Bar. And Willie, today's topic for number 1 is, what is your favourite dish to cook and why? Willie Creighton.
Thank you very much. What's my favourite dish? Well, I work with my hands, but it's not with cooking or anything like that. I work with wood, but I do a little bit of dabbling with cooking, and I'm, what would you say, a bit kind of mix and match. Maybe I might make soup someday, like vegetable soup or something, and when my wife had be gone away, I'd say, I'll get the dinner ready now and I'll start cooking. Now, I must admit I'm not a great cook. I do see them watching programs on television, and I say, I must keep an eye on that, but it's in one ear and out the other ear. I'd be thinking about something else, something that I might be making. So, but for my favourite dish would be, I'd have vegetables and all that cut up and washed up and the whole works, and I throw them into a pot, mix them up, and then I see different spices and I shake a bit of this, a bit of salt and a bit of this and a bit of that, mix up everything, and that'll be grand. So we'd have soup anyways for I don't know what you call it, soup, but it'd be a nice mixture of stuff anyways. Every sort of vegetable I could get my hands on, like I'd always have potato. I love potatoes, and I'd have potato, I'd have onions, tomato, I'd have, sometimes I might cut up a little bit of a banana and throw it in. I'd have a mixture of everything. And then for, of course, I'd have to have maybe when there'd be my family. I have 3 daughters, and they're all vegans, so that'd be a different story. I'd keep away from that altogether. So, but I'd say, right, I'll have a bit of chicken there now, and I'll mix up a bit of chicken, and I'll have some sort of spices, and I might be testing it as I go along, and I'll add another dab of something to it, see what it's like. So when time comes for tastings anyways, it'll be out anyways, and my wife would come back and the kids, and say, I have everything ready here now, and what do you think? Well, of course, the vegans wouldn't touch it because there'd be chicken in it, and there'd be, I'm not into vegan. I'd manage a vegetarian, but I wouldn't manage vegan. So, oh, we cannot have that, we cannot have this. So I said, all right, so hunger is good sauce. As the old Irish saying, it's my antanan on tuckras. Hunger is good sauce. So put out the chicken and I don't know what you'd call it, some sort of a curry chicken or whatever, and put it out on the plate. There'll be no problems, everything was eaten up. So that's a good sign of a chef, when you see everything missing off the plate. If you're handing back stuff like that, it's not a great job. So that'd be my thought of what sort of a dish. Thanks very much, Damien, for the... Thank you.
I'll get you to pick one. Thanks very much, Willie. Willie's our resident wood turner, and Willie can turn his hand to Anton. Last topic. Willie's our resident wood turner, and Willie created this lovely piece for Castlebar Toastmasters. So the final topic, number 12. Number 12. And Derek has been very, very involved in this, and we'd like to thank Derek for all he's done to get this meeting and this event organised so much. So in order to actually get him to do something here while he's here, I'm going to call on Derek for number 12, which is, are you more of an ooh-ah Paul McGrath man, or who put the goal in the English net? Ray did. Ray Houghton, man. Derek.
Thank you. So glad to get this last topic, Topics Master, fellow Toastmasters, dignitaries, DLT team, and invited guests. And I thought this was one of the easy topics I gave as well. It's fairly easy for me because I would say Ray Houghton for me. He put the goal in the English net and he put the goal in the Italian net in 88 and 94 in the tournaments. Now I know Paul McGrath has a lot of fans and he had his dark times, but Ray Houghton was English born and yet he did his great effort, did his hardest for the Irish, for the Republic of Ireland team. I think was it his grandmother or grandfather had a connection with Ireland, and I think he played right up to 98 as well. I don't think we got to the France tournament in 1998, but I do have a soft spot for Paul McGrath because it's Mental Health Week and he had his dark times as well, and he used to resort to taking a bit of alcohol, and so. Jack understood him. Jack understood where he was coming from. Jack Charlton, of course, and they worked well as they could together. But Paul had a place in that team, you know, the Irish team of 1990, 1994 in the USA, and so we didn't get to too many tournaments since, but that was the heyday of Irish soccer, and I think. Living through that time, I'd have an opinion on Paul McGrath or who put the goal in the English net, Ray Houghton. So I'm glad I got that topic, not someone younger or someone that's not Irish. So, Topics Master.
Thank you very much for that, Derek. And it's a fitting into our table topics to bring up Paul McGrath, a great Irish hero who also suffered during his career, despite how famous and prominent he was, he did suffer in the shadows. So with that, I would like to hand you back to Francis for the rest of the meeting. Thank you very much, Francis.
Thanks very much, Damien, for them wonderful topics. And I just want to mention, before we go to our break, even though we're a little behind time, but Willie Creighton was up here and he was saying he works with his hands. So I just want to point out this wonderful, one-of-a-kind piece that Willie Creighton has made for Castlebar Toastmasters. This is his work, and it's so wonderful to have it as part of our club. So thank you, Willie. And I think everybody here has definitely deserved a cup of tea, cup of coffee, and have a chat, and we'll break for lunch for a break, and then we'll come back here in 10 minutes, 15, 10? Okay, at some stage. Thank you. Oh, yes. Perfect.
Let's frame up.
Okay. Start the stream again.
We might have someone at the podium as well. It looks like someone's working from the podium. So we have the podium and table in, okay?
Yeah. There we go.
Okay.
I'm gonna take it off later for the Lords.
Yes, okay. I'm in everybody's way. Are we back? I know. Are we back?
Yes.
Oh, we're back. Oh, hello. Hello, everybody. I hope you all had a chance to have a cup of tea at home. Our next speaker truly, really needs no introduction at all. She is a beloved member of Toastmasters community. She is a mentor, a friend, and one of the most gifted speakers in our area. She embodies the very spirit of what it means to be a Toastmaster. She has grace, generosity, and genuine connection. You learn a lot from Dolores Brady, not just through what she says, but how she carries herself and how she makes everybody feel so welcome. Today she'll be leading our panel discussion, which is behind me. Please welcome Dolores Brady.
Francis, thank you so much for that lovely introduction. Undeserved, but very welcome. Thank you. Today, you have an opportunity to meet some very experienced Toastmasters. And I'm going to begin this panel discussion by giving each of them an opportunity to introduce themselves. And like the talented Toastmasters they are going to do this succinctly and to the point. So we'll begin, and we do have a mic. Thank you. So, off you go.
Thank you very much, Dolores. So my name is Pat Gordon, with Toastmasters for coming up on 10 years, took a couple of years out. Love Toastmasters and delighted to be here today. Thank you, Dolores.
I'm Terry Cawley. I'm in Ballina Toastmasters. Like Pat, I've been in Toastmasters quite a while. I like it. I like living by the sea in Enniscrone, and I'm here to contribute in any way I can to Toastmasters.
Thank you very much, Terry. Dolores, fellow Toastmasters and Divisional Director, Mairead. I'm Tom Flynn. I've been 14 years a member of Westport Speakers Club. I'm also a member of 2 other clubs, and the only thing I can say about Toastmasters is it's an undiscovered secret. Thank you very much.
I'm Dolores Foy. I've been a member of Westport Toastmasters for nearly 20 years now. I'm also a member of the West Awake Advanced Club, and I'm lucky enough to be treasurer for both clubs this year, so I control all of the money.
Hello, I'm Katrina Doyle. I'm a member of Castlebar Toastmasters, and I was proud to be president of Castlebar last year. And this year, Francis has taken over, and well done. And I've been a member of Castlebar since 2017, even though I heard about Toastmasters in the 80s and thought it was something beyond me. But, you know, it is a well-kept secret, unfortunately. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Katrina. Terry, I have a suspicion that you might be the longest serving member of Toastmasters from a little bit of mental arithmetic I have done. Would you like to tell us, please, about your original experience with Toastmasters?
Yes. Initially, and back in the 80s, back in the 80s, I had a retail business and I dealt with the public all the time. But at the same time, I was a shy sort of a person. I had problems, the confidence of speaking in front of a group or part of a group. If I was within 3, 4, 5 or 6 people, I would probably be the last to say anything. And I would more or less listen to everybody else and then get something out of what they said so that I could sort of repeat that. And it was my wife that introduced me to Toastmasters. She said there is a speakers club or a club to help speakers like that. And she brought me, she came with me. I was old enough to go on my own, but I didn't have the confidence to walk into a room of people and speak or introduce myself or do anything. And so she brought me in. But once I was in there, I found, and this was down in Sligo, I found the members there very welcoming and very interested in me and wanted to help me to get along there. And I met so many of them that are still friends today. But that was back in probably the 80s, 1980s. And that gives me 40 years or more as being a member. And then when Ballina started up their club in 2002, I think it was, I was one of the founder members there, and I've been in Ballina ever since. I got as far as Advanced Toastmaster Gold. I didn't get to the DTM, Distinguished Toastmaster. But I gained a lot of confidence and a lot of friends. And at this stage, I like to help others and do educational spots in the club to point out the ways people can improve their delivery, posture, their thinking up for a speech, the theme, and how to do it, and how to research it, and how to deliver it. So I'm very happy to be in Toastmasters, and I like to help anybody that needs help in that way, and long may it continue.
Thank you very much. Pat, can you remember your first Toastmasters meeting? How was it for you?
Thank you very much. I certainly can. Like Terry, when I went in, I found something. I found a pillar that I could put my chair behind so I could hide so that the people up on the top table wouldn't see me and wouldn't ask me any questions because I was terrified. I've always been a quiet type of person, shy, and knew it was something I had to work on because I did want to, even at work, develop my career at work, and I knew that I needed to develop confidence to be in a role where either I did training or did some presentations or got in front of a group. And again, like Terry said, being in a group of people and always being the last person to speak. So Toastmasters, after maybe the 5th meeting of hiding behind that pillar, I moved out to the side a little bit, and there was great encouragement. That's the one thing about Toastmasters, the encouragement from the people that have been there. And Terry is actually one of the people that did a lot of encouragement for me and helped me move on and gave me feedback. Whereas in some places, the feedback you get is criticism. With Toastmasters, it's encouragement. And each little step, each meeting helped me believe a little bit more. I could do a little bit more, work on something just a little bit more. And I feel great now that I now can help people that come in new and encourage them to take on just small little steps. There's not just public speaking, there's leadership roles as a club member, which helps people develop and run a little team there, organise events, and then help encourage the next line of people coming in. It definitely is one of the best kept secrets in the world. I had read about it. I would have read a lot of positive mental attitude books and come across Toastmasters. In a lot of those books, they would talk about if you suffer from shyness, not confident in yourself, Toastmasters was a super way to help develop that. And it has for me. It has paid off in my social life, it's paid off in my work life through advancement in my career. And I would encourage anyone to drop into a meeting. You're under no pressure to do anything. Find that pole to hide behind for the first couple of meetings, see how it works, and then come in, and you'll be amazed at the outcome. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Tom, I know you have had a very varied career in Toastmasters. You've taken multiple roles. In the light of your experience, would you like to tell us what you think is the best thing about Toastmasters?
Thank you very much, Dolores. With your permission, I'll stand. I feel much more comfortable standing than sitting. Earlier I mentioned about Toastmasters being a secret. It is too well kept a secret. What I learned in Toastmasters, and which I've tried to share with everybody with whom I've come in contact with, both as members of Westport Toastmasters, West Awake, Castlebar, I was briefly a member there, and now Emerald Isles, was that everybody has one thing in common. Everybody wants to be good communicators. And the one thing that I learned during my formative years in Westport Toastmasters was how to communicate. Communication, it's not really that simple, but it's not that difficult either. And when you break it down, it's really just about sending the message, the sender sending the message to the receiver, and the receiver decoding what the sender has sent. It's very, very simple. Toastmasters helps you, the speaker, to perfect your speaking skills, to speak with clarity, so that there's no ambiguity whatsoever about the message that you're trying to get across to your colleagues, either in Toastmasters or in your world of work. Certainly, I can say with my hand on my heart that had I not gained the experience of communications and public speaking skills within the environment of Toastmasters, I don't think I would have achieved as much as I have in my private life and in my public life. And I hope that if you take any message from what I'm saying here today, is that when you're speaking, think about what you're going to say, how you're going to say it. Be always mindful of background noises that can distort the message that you're trying to get across, and make sure that the receiver understands perfectly what it is you said. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Tom. Has there ever been a moment in your life when you thought, thank heavens for Toastmasters? Dolores.
There have been several moments in my life when I said, thank heavens for Toastmasters. I was a bit like Pat. I was asked by a friend of mine to go to a Toastmasters meeting years ago. We snuck into the back row. I thought this was going to be a whole lot of old fuddy-duddies talking ad nauseum about themselves, and I was hooked from that very first night. I have said thank you to Toastmasters more recently in my life. I retired a few years ago, and I took up a part-time position last year as a tour guide, which I would never have seen myself doing. And I have to say, Toastmasters has been the most invaluable training for that. It has been just wonderful. The nicest compliment I got last week was a lady came up to me and she said, "I'm hard of hearing, and I could hear and understand every word you said." That's what Toastmasters has done for me. On a more flippant side, I can't watch The Late Late anymore. Patrick Keelty is the accounter's nightmare. I have never heard anybody. He's being paid millions to do this. And I keep saying, I'm screaming at the TV on a Friday night, would you please send him to Toastmasters? Thank you, Dolores.
Thank you, Dolores. Katrina, you're the infant in this group, in that you have the most recent experience of joining Toastmasters. Why are you still here?
Thank you, Dolores. I'm tempted to say, I wonder why, but I won't. I did hear about Toastmasters in the 80s, in the 1980s, and she was the boss of a friend of mine. So she was pretty well up in the civil service. That's why I thought, oh no, it's not for me. But then another good friend mentioned to me in 2017, Castlebar had just formed in 2016, and they weren't interested in going, but they thought I'd like it. And from the very first meeting, I was hooked. I was promised that I wouldn't be asked anything, but then I was asked about what was my favourite book. And I think one of my favourite books was Silas Marner. And then I went over the time because, you know, I got engrossed in actually answering the question. And I remember that meeting, it was in Helena Chocolates, which Dirk, our Toastmaster who set up Gaspar Toastmasters with others, Julie, who I just say there now, one of those. And he had chocolates and coffee and tea and hot chocolate, so it was lovely. But over the years then, I was education vice president in 2000 and I can't remember the years now, 23. And I didn't realize at the time that it was nearly a given that if you were doing education, that you would be the president the following year. I didn't realize that until it was suggested, you know, will you do it? But actually when I came in here this morning and I was asked I was going to be on the panel. I didn't realize until the panel, but I said yes, because in Toastmasters, yes is the big thing, you know, whether you want to say it or not. Say yes, and then you just follow on. But last year, it was probably the most wonderful year. I don't regret it's over, because I can, but I was president of Castlebar, and we did a number of things. Off the top of my head, it was International Toastmasters 100 years since it was founded, so it was an incredible year to be president. And we had a beautiful walk and talk event in Loughlana, where we recounted how we came to Toastmasters, and you, Dolores, was there, and a number of other people here were there. That was a lovely event. And another event that I'll remember fondly is our oxygenarian here, Tom McFadden. He's a member in Castlebar for a number of years, I think shortly after myself joined. And he invited us out to his house, out in the, I don't know whether you call the foothills of Crowpatrick or not. And so we had it was relatively recently, a few months ago. And it was a lovely thing that we had. And his house is a beautiful house, a lot of glass around it, and so that was a special event. And of course, another the wooden plaque here that Willie Creighton, our Toastmaster, did, should be proudly up on the table always. But that was Willie kindly offered to make this for us, and he's a master wood turner who has done amazing things in his life with in wood carving, and also in Toastmasters as well. Now he's been our member. So thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone. One of the talents we develop as Toastmasters is giving feedback. I'm getting feedback from the floor. Use the mic. I have a mic. How challenging has it been for you to give feedback? And I'll just throw that open. Would any of you like to take that thorny question? Because it can be quite challenging. Any volunteers for that one?
I'll have a go at that.
There you go, Tom.
Thank you very much.
Giving feedback where speeches are concerned, it's a kind of a poison chalice, because you have to be very, very careful, number one, about the language that you use when you're giving the feedback to the recipient. You've also got to feel emotionally within yourself that you've understood what it is that the speaker was talking about when he or she presented the speech. You've also got to remind them that they said what they said and give them a helpful hint at the end or a word of guidance that would help them to develop their next presentation when they stand in front of the members in the club. Giving evaluations is not, in many ways, it's not for the faint-hearted, but yet at the same time, in Toastmasters, the faint-hearted become golden because they develop and they're encouraged to develop a hidden talent and a hidden skill that they hadn't realized they had before. So I would say, in all fairness, to 99.99% of the people, for example, whom I've received feedback from, it has always been positive, encouraging, and I hope in some small way that I have been gracious as well in sending my feedback to the presenter of the speech. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Tom. At this point, I can throw it open to the floor. Have any of you got a really awkward question you would like to put to some member of the panel to challenge them and to see can they think on their feet as well as they think they can? Derek.
Will I go in front? I can't. Could I ask any member of the panel, did you go overtime in a speech, like drastically overtime? Maybe if it was a 7-minute speech, did you go to 10 minutes? And what was the reception of that? And why did you continue to go over the time to finish out the speech? What was the reason why?
I'm sorely tempted to answer that question myself. Who would like to confess? Terry.
I seem to always have a problem running over time. Am I over time already? The timer is telling me something there. I tend to elaborate on whatever I'm talking about, and then I see the timer putting up coloured that I thought that's not due for another while, and then I have to hurry up and try and get finished, and I nearly always go over time. And I try when I'm preparing a speech to bring it down to the time time I have, and even under that time to give me that little break point. But I find that I'm in a hurry to say more about what I am talking about instead of thinking sometimes less is more. So I'm afraid I do confess to many, many times being over time and then having to apologize.
Is there anybody else who's itching to ask something? Mairead, our district director. Mairead.
No, Tom, I love what you were saying about evaluation, but say now if a person had an inappropriate speech or it wasn't the best ever, could you give us advice on how to address that or how to give feedback in a good way without upsetting the person.
Thank you very much, Madam Director. That has not been one of the easiest questions that I've been posed since I became a Toastmaster. Language is king. People are higher than language. Their emotions are even higher again. So the language you use, no matter what the topic or the subject, it needs to be appropriate to the title and the objective to which you're addressing your presentation. When a member, male or female, stands up in front of their fellow Toastmasters to present a speech, they need to be very clear in their head what message they want to get across. Offense cannot be one of the messages they get across. The message they're getting across is both educational, informative, energizing. You've got to provide that source, that element to which a member can improve from where they are to where they hope to go. So language is king, but how you use language, and that's coming back to something I mentioned earlier, the sender and the receiver. And in between, you got the background noise. The background noise can very well be the inappropriate language which is attributed to or by the speaker to the subject matter to which he or she is speaking. So every speaker, whether they're a novice or advanced, need to be highly aware of the language that they use, that it is not, for example, incendiary in any way, but rather that it is there to be informative, educational, uplifting, and guiding to the receiver. Thank you very much for the question, Madam Chair.
Just when we're getting really started, I see red lights down at the end of the room. Thank you very much to the members of the panel for your time, your expertise, and your generosity in saying yes. And thank you, the audience, for your participation and your engagement with this session. It's been a pleasure. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Dolores, and thank you to the panel. I feel very inspired. If I wasn't a member of Toastmasters already, I would be signing up. Very, very inspiring. We're going to have a little music break. We're going to have a song from Cahill from Ballina Toastmasters, and when a song was mentioned, he was a very clear choice. He has just done a first-class master's in songwriting, and he's going to treat us all to a Cahill Connolly original song. I don't know the name of it. I'm sure he'll tell us.
Thank you. I'll go here. Hello, everyone. I was going to do a different song today, and then when I heard it was Mental Health Week, I thought about a song I'd written for my master's, and I hadn't played it in a while. So I was a bit hesitant, but then Francis dared me to do it. So if you see her being chased park after this, you know why. So it's called UFOs. My body is broken, and I'm not sure what I can do to change it. It's not getting younger any day soon. My hair is falling out, my teeth are turning yellow, and I'm not sure what I can do to fix any of my problems. You know, I never thought it would end the day we first met. I was young, you had a smile on your face that I haven't seen since. And we laughed and we went on a Ferris wheel, the most innocent thing we could do. Two kids on top of the world with so much to lose. Today I worked 12 hours straight, and I still think I didn't do enough to pay the bills that keep coming around, following me like a shadow. And I worry the next job will be my last. I'll end up on the street, and my mother won't be there to pick up the pieces or carry me to my grave. And I laughed with her, and I'm scared it won't happen again. She was in hospital this week, and I'm scared it's the last time I'll see her like that. It happened so quick. The doctor said he's very tough, and I looked at his body broken and said it's enough. There's a storm outside, and I know there's a storm in every song that you listen to. Why do we obsess with what we can't control? For some answers I'd sell my soul, and I know the storm will pass eventually. I just hope it doesn't take the roof. My neighbor's sheep will think they've seen a UFO. And I laughed to myself, 'cause I'm freezing to death in my bed. And I know it could be my last night on earth. And I think to myself, it'll all be fine. Maybe I should get some sleep. If I could just get my roof back from the sheep. I'm leaving a mess after me.
Is it here? Can I take it?
Take this one on the stand. It'll be grand.
Well, I don't want to break it.
No,
Hello. Oh, is it that one? Yeah. Oh, right.
There you go.
Okay.
Sorry,
Thank
get
you.
it gonna-
Thank you. Wow. Oh my God. Wow. I am blown away by the talent of that. I do not regret my choices to make you do that. That was phenomenal. It's the first time I've actually heard. It's the first time I've heard Cottle singing, and I'm just like, whoosh, whoa, speechless again. Wow, okay. So our next speaker up, we had a panel full of very experienced speakers, And our next speaker who's given a speech today is a very new member to Toastmasters. This will be her third time speaking in front of anybody, and she said yes to this, and I'm so proud of her. In Toastmasters, the longer you're in it, you develop like habits like the eye contact, the posture, everything else. But when you're new, it can be scary, it can be daunting. You feel like you're not practiced, underqualified, but you get up and speak. You take those steps, those first steps to come in the door because you've got something important to say. And Siobhan Brinklow has something important to say. She's already proved to be a courageous and wonderful speaker, and I can't wait for all of you to hear her speak. Siobhan. Oh, yeah.
Thanks, Francis. Okay, before I begin today, I would like everybody to do something. I want you to picture a boy that you care about. A son, maybe a grandson, a brother, a nephew. Picture him in your mind. Now I want you to think about the world that he is growing up in. I want you to think about the messages that are being told to him about who he should be and who he shouldn't be. And more importantly, I want you to consider who are the people that are guiding him through that. So with that, good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters, Madam President, esteemed guests. Did you know that suicide is the leading cause of death for young men between the ages of 15 and 34 in Ireland? That boys are far more likely to be diagnosed with a learning difficulty, with a behavioural difficulty, and are also far more likely to be expelled from school. These, unfortunately, aren't just statistics. I believe these are warning signs. They're signs that something just isn't quite working. As a mother of two boys, this has troubled me deeply. It has troubled me so much so that I have spent countless hours reading, listening to podcasts, researching, just trying to understand exactly what kind of a man I should be raising in the world today. And honestly, I still haven't got a clue. The messages I have found are often conflicting. They are vague. On one side, we are telling boys to be more emotionally open. They're also telling them to lead, but not too strongly, to be masculine, but not too much. Our expectations are extremely vague. They're ever-changing, and they often contradict themselves. While the world has made necessary strides in empowering our women, this is something, obviously, I fully support. I can't help but notice now, especially as my eldest boy steps into manhood, that boys are being quietly left behind. Quietly, subtly, but unmistakably. We have spent decades redefining what it means to be a woman, reshaping roles, expanding their rights, and opening many new doors. But very few people are asking today, what does it mean to be a man? And in that silence, boys, including my own, are growing up unsure of where they belong. In his book of Boys and Men, researcher Richard Reeves explains that the problems facing our boys and men today are not due to moral weakness or cultural decline, but rather due to societal change without structural adaptation. So simply put, the world has changed, but we haven't updated the blueprint for what we expect our boys to be. 60 years ago, the role of a man was really clear. Whether it was right or wrong, they were leaders, they were protectors, they were the providers. Obviously, today this is no longer simply the case, and rightly so. The feminist movement has challenged those old norms and has opened up spaces for women to lead, for women to choose, and women to step into those types of roles. But while we redefined womanhood, we seem to have left masculinity behind with no clear message and no new model. So what exactly happens when boys don't know who they're supposed to be? Well, some of them are told to be more emotionally open, to be more nurturing, in short, more feminine. Others, unfortunately, are leaning towards the other extreme, male supremacy. Figures like Andrew Tate, they preach this hyper-dominant masculinity that equates control with power and sees weakness as vulnerability. And while this view is clearly misogynistic and immoral, I can't help but understand why so many boys are listening to it. Because when you're lost and nobody is speaking to your experience, you will always cling to whoever shouts the loudest. Even if it's the wrong answer, it gives structure and it taps into something almost primal. And for many boys, unfortunately, it seems to be speaking to the only voice speaking to their experience. Ladies and gentlemen, this is why this conversation matters so much. Because if we leave a vacuum like this, somebody will fill it. And if the only people offering our young men a vision of masculinity are male supremacists, then unfortunately we are for sure failing them. Now let me be clear, I don't believe that we are risking feminism by having this conversation. Instead, I feel that we are risking our boys by staying silent. Not all voices, I believe, in this space are harmful. Some are genuinely trying to offer a positive way forward for our young men. And one such voice, I believe, is Jordan Peterson. Now, I do not agree with him on all of his views. However, I think when it comes to this specific issue, I think he is trying to offer boys and young men something positive, something valuable and something they need. He speaks about order and responsibility and importance of discipline. He urges young men to stand up straight, both literally and metaphorically, to take ownership of their lives and contribute to the world in meaningful ways. And in a time when so many young boys feel adrift, this, I believe, could provide the structure and direction they may need, a roadmap perhaps towards becoming capable and valued. Because right now, whether we like it or not, we have put pressure on our young men to change, but we haven't told them what we expect them to change into. Now, I want to reiterate, I fully support the progress that women have made. It's so long overdue, and it was something that was just so necessary. However, we have to also acknowledge the unintended consequence of this change is that many boys are now unsure of where they fit in. In a world that's changing fast, they're struggling to find purpose and direction, and many of them feel forgotten. And when people feel forgotten, they become vulnerable, emotionally, socially, and sometimes even violently. So, I stand here today not to defend toxic masculinity and not to attack feminism. I stand here because I believe that we can and we must lift up both our boys and our girls. I want my sons to grow into men who are confident and kind and responsible and emotionally aware, not ashamed or angry at the world for not making space for them. And more importantly, I want my daughter to grow up believing that success and empowerment of women does not require the shrinking of men. We are not in competition. I believe that we rise together or not at all. But unfortunately, we can't do that if we're afraid to even talk about it. We shouldn't feel ashamed or ridiculed for raising these questions, for wondering what a healthy, balanced version of masculinity looks like. We should be encouraged to ask and to challenge the extremes and to carve out a space where our boys can see themselves reflected in strong, modern ways. Because when we create that space, through conversation and through role models, through support and through awareness, we will give our boys something truly powerful. A place in the world, a future, and a reason to become the type of men that we can all be proud of. Thank you.
Well done, by the way.
well deserved. The thing about Toastmasters is when you come into Toastmasters first, you are a speaker, and then eventually you grow into a supporting role, and it is such an honour to be that support, to have grown in my journey to be a supporting role and to really encourage people to shine and step up. Thank you. And now I'm going to hand the meeting over to Derek Walsh. Derek is a dedicated Toastmaster and member of several clubs, if I have this right, Mullingar, Longford, USS Emerald Isle. Any more? Derek has been one of the key people behind the scenes to make this event come to what it is. So his vision, his leadership and commitment has made today possible, and he's going to have a few words, and then he's going to do a little mindfulness for us all to set us off out into the world again. So Derek Walsh, thank you.
Thank you for offering me the floor, Toastmaster Francis, and I'd like to welcome everyone here, fellow Toastmasters, invited guests, non-Toastmasters and Toastmasters alike, District Director Mairead and the DLT project team for the bus tour, and people who work behind the scenes, as well as guests and panel members, and Dolores for hosting the panel discussion. I just want to endorse or remember or recognise first-time Toastmaster who took up the timer on his first visit to Longford Club and continued that and did the timer the second time. So just the meeting afterwards. So I want to remember him and recognise him. And just a few words, because I know it's the 40th anniversary of Ted Corcoran's joining Toastmasters today. I want to remember Ted because I remember Ted when I was online, and Wordsmiths Online was chartering. I think it was in April 24, and they were inducted. All the committee and the members, the charter members, were inducted by Ted, and he endorsed helping others and service, which is one of the principles of Toastmasters, the guiding principles. So I remember that about it, and he really did the proper, induction for each of the members. And then the second thing I remember about him was when we were in district officer training last November. This is nearly 12 months ago, and he was there, and he was at it, I think, and he was talking about focusing on corporate clubs and strategies about ensuring corporate clubs there's more buy-in from them. And so that's my second memory of him. And I know this former Division F director, now Club Growth Director, Kevin O'Reilly, he has a mentor of Ted. So, and Ted is elderly now, he's in his 80s. And he was at the Buzzwells event as well, where I was last Sunday, and he was able to speak and very much respected in Toastmaster circles. So I just want to say thanks to the hotel as well, and thanks to all the organising committee and people for coming out early on Tuesday morning, and some people from taking off work as well to come here. I'll go direct into the chiming balls now because I know I want to take up some time. So I might take out my deck of chiming balls. So basically you can close your eyes and listen to the chiming balls. It's a kind of music, but it's actually a mindful tool. And it's a pleasure to play the chiming balls. I'm a sound healing practitioner level 1. So I hope you can enter into that mindful aspect of it.
I don't know, what's the plan?
Probably exactly what we did with Colin.
Bring the microphone to the
Yeah.
podium and let us all hear.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Towards the front. So we'll bell to begin. Thank you. I'll leave it there.
Oh.
Hope you enjoyed that.
Thank you, Derek, and thank you for Ted Corcoran mention. I'm a great fan of Ted Corcoran, actually. And we're on to nearly the last of our meeting now. We're a little bit over, but we're doing well. And recognition is really, really important within Toastmasters. It's one of the ways that, you know, as people, as humans, we all want to be recognized. And when we do something and get recognized for it, it gives us these little goals to work towards. So, so recognition. So I'm going to invite the beautiful Mairead, our district director, who's so glamorous and so wonderful, back up today to give awards to the people within our area. Thank you.
So when I became district director and I was talking in Solihull, in my mind, a good leader is somebody who steps back and lets other people shine. So I have a magnificent colleague from the HSE who only joined Toastmasters in April, and she's actually part of the core group of the organisation committee for the bus tour. So I'm so grateful to her for everything she has done. So I'm going to step back and let her present many of our awards today. Please give a warm welcome to Linda Devlin.
Thanks, Linda. Thank you. I'm going to hand these to you.
Oh, no, I'm going to let you read it. So you're going to read it.
We didn't rehearse this.
This is an impromptu.
This is brilliant, yeah. So if Siobhan Brinklow, we'd like to celebrate you, Siobhan. That was a beautiful, beautiful presentation you
I'm going
gave.
to take pictures over there.
I will take pictures.
Thanks, Linda.
Brilliant. And Cathal Conley. Cathal? Cathal? That was amazing. So, well done.
Thank you very much.
And get a photo with Mairead.
Congratulations. That was an amazing song.
Yeah, perfect. Well done, well done. Katrina Foy. Katrina? Well done. Congratulations. You get your lovely photo. Well done. And Dolores Boy. Well done, Dolores. Congratulations.
Thanks so much. A brilliant panel discussion.
Yeah. And we'll celebrate Tom Flynn. It's lovely seeing the act of surprise. It's really, really nice. And it's so well deserved.
Thank you very much.
Well done. Well done. Photo.
Big congratulations to Tom for getting his DTM.
Woohoo! And we have Terry Cowley. Cawley? Cawley, sorry. Sorry, Terry. Well done. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Now, you get your lovely photo.
Terry, congrats and thank you for all your service to Toastmasters. It's amazing.
And now we have Pat Gordon. Well done, Pat. Well done. Congratulations.
Thank you, Gordon. Thank you. Thank you.
Can I congratulate Pat on doing an amazing table topics answer? I was thinking of inviting him up. There's not a chance I could have answered that. So congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Well
Thanks
done.
very much.
Well done. We have Damien Fleming. Damien Fleming, thanks for not asking earlier on. Well done.
Amazing table topic session, Damien.
Could somebody take a photograph of Damien with this
I'm the one that does that now, dear.
Yeah. Do a selfie, yeah.
I get 2 words.
Yay.
Thanks, Damien.
Brilliant. And then we have Siobhan Phillips.
Oh, Siobhan.
Our mindfulness, that was lovely. Brilliant. We all felt so zen. Congratulations.
That was a beautiful start to our meeting. Thank you so much.
And now we have Joseph Neary. Come on down, Joseph. There's so much we could say, Joseph. Well done, congratulations, that was beautiful. I'll get a photo with Mairead.
I would say Joseph is a bit of a cheeky pop now.
Well. Well done, kept us all on time. Congratulations.
Thanks a million for keeping us on track. Amazing.
And we have Salome Rush. Well done, Salome. Okay. Well done, Salome. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
And these ones then are in recognition of all the clubs coming together over in the West, which was an absolutely amazing day. So we have Castle Bar Toastmasters. Who would like to? Yeah. There you go, Francis. Thanks a million.
Thanks very much. Thank you.
Brilliant. And now we have Westport Speakers Club. Yeah. Don't be shy. Well done. And we have Ballina Toastmasters. Who'd like to? Brilliant. You got to walk down twice. Well done.
Yes, amazing,
Well done.
amazing.
And the last one I have is West Awake Toastmasters. Two again. I know. Oh. Okay, well done everyone. There's only one left that Mairead is going to then present. So I'll keep talking as she swans over. Okay, so I'll hand
thanks
it over
so
to you.
much,
Thank
and
you,
you did a
Mairead.
great job. Thanks, Linda. So, at the end of the day, all of these events around the country cannot happen without having a fantastic event manager. And we really had a magnificent event manager today. Francis, please come up and get a small award. Thank you so much. And I have a And in addition to that, as we all know, when there's a new committee in place, we need to undertake club officer training. And many clubs, they love to send their 4 basic people to be trained. There's not many clubs that send all 7 from the committee. And of course, Frances, being the amazing person that she is, she sent all 7 of her committee to be trained. So this year, and it's very much thanks to Steve Campion, our PQD, anybody who has any club has trained 7 officers, they're receiving pins for each of the committee members. So congratulations. Will I hand back to yourself then?
Oh, yes, okay.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you for all of this. Thank you. I feel very overwhelmed with gratitude, actually. So thank you. And I can't wait to hand out these pins tonight to my committee, who are just the most wonderful committee, hardworking committee already. And I'm so proud of them for all going to training. So thank you. And is that it? That's it, we're done. So, and I'll hand you back over to Slummy. I had lovely things written about Slummy too. Slummy is the Sergeant of Arms. This has been our Sergeant of Arms today, and she is so dedicated to Toastmasters. She's always showing up, and she's hard as nails, whether she's baking, building, or just being brainstorming. She's just such a wonderful, wonderful person to have in our area. So I'm going to hand you back over to Salome to close the meeting. Thank you.
Now, thank you to all for attending today. And I am going to wish you safe travels. Well done to the tour. They're going on to Galway tonight, so tune in for tonight. They'll be in Galway. Safe travels. You may now turn your phones on and enjoy the rest of the day. I declare the meeting closed.
There we go.
The best part about being at this convention is reuniting with all my friends from all over the world.
And exchanging ideas with all of them.
It feels like a global family reunion.
And I love meeting the people that I only knew online, face to face.
It's the people.
I get to meet so many people.
And more importantly, meet your inspirations and become an inspiration.
I love being a part of such a wonderful organization that takes the time to stretch across the world.
The best part of being at a convention is all the energy
and it's all about the energy. I love the warmth with the fellow Toastmasters bring.
The best part is that you get to meet the global leaders all under one roof.
Not only that, but the education, because I want to grow, and I hope you want to grow as well.
And now I'm energized to create a greater impact.
The best part of these conventions happens to be the flag ceremony.
I'm so excited today. I get to carry the flag.
I've had the rare opportunity to be a flag bearer.
Never in my wildest dreams did I ever imagine participating in the flag ceremony. It was an amazing experience.
The best part about being at the international convention is helping to make it work, helping to bring it together, helping to make it a success.
All the people who put the whole event together, I want to thank all of them.
Thank you so much, Toastmasters, for all that you do.
Convention is indeed an amazing, exciting time.
It is a communication supernova.
I think I truly witnessed the best event in the world. We are talking all as one language, Toastmaster.
That's one of the best parts of being at this Toastmasters convention. Yay!
The best part about being at this convention is reuniting with all my friends from all over the world.
And exchanging ideas with all of them.
It feels like a global family reunion.
And I love meeting the people that I only knew online, face to face.
It's the people.
I get to meet so many people.
And more important,